I'm Stephanie Dreyer, the founder of Batch Cooking Club, a weekly vegan meal prep membership that makes dinner easier. And I am here today, as I am every week, featuring a recipe from this week's meal plan that dropped yesterday. We dropped new 4 weekly dinners, 4 dinner recipes every week on Wednesday mornings, and we give you a prep plan with 4 to 6 additional recipes that speed up those dinners later in the week. And today we are making polenta panzanella salad with chickpea bruschetta. As you can see, the kitchen is full of delicious smells, and I'm going to get right to it because we have a few pieces to this recipe which I think beautifully demonstrates how our membership works, because what we do is we always give you 4 to 6 recipes to prep on the weekend to speed up your dinners. One of them is a chickpea bruschetta that's going to go on top of our salad, and I've started over here. I'm going to show you how to finish that up. But ideally, you would have prepped that on the weekend along with our oil-free basil dressing. And so that's ready to go. And all you would have to do is make your polenta croutons, which we're going to do right now, chop up some vegetables and put it all together. So before I get started, I want to give a shout out to all of our members who are watching. Drop an emoji below if you're watching. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And if you're watching in replay, put hashtag replay. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And then also, I will be posting the link to the full recipe after our live is done. So if you're wondering about the quantity of ingredients, all that, don't worry, we got you covered. I'll add that later. So first thing you want to do, preheat your oven to 400 degrees. I am going to just slice open my polenta, and I just have a regular polenta roll. If you're new to polenta, we're swapping the croutons in a traditional panzanella and making it, doing polenta croutons instead, which adds a lot of heartiness to the salad, makes it more filling, and it's just a fun twist on regular croutons. So you could also make your own polenta if you wanted and be a little extra. So you do that if you want, but I'm taking some help from the store, which I try to do when I can. And we're just gonna cube this up like you would a loaf of bread for croutons. So I'm just gonna cut this into cubes. And then we're gonna season it with some salt and pepper. And you can make these as big or as small as you want, however you like your croutons. I'm gonna make them kind of big because I like them big. And then we're just gonna literally drizzle. You can do, that one's a little big, olive oil, or you can do vegetable broth if you want, if you're going oil-free. And then we're gonna just do salt and pepper, and those will roast for about 30 minutes. So they might not quite be done by the time we're done with our live, but I'll at least be able to show you at least them almost done, and those just get topped on the end at the very end of throwing our salad together. So I'll still be able to show you everything. But I wanted to show you how the polenta roll comes together, because if you're new to polenta, I thought it would be helpful to show you. So I did not prep these in advance. So as I mentioned, we give you 4 dinners every week in your meal plan. So this week, this salad is one of the dinners. And we are also serving chickpea bruschetta French bread pizza, because we always give you a double batch of one recipe that you can use in 2 completely different ways. So this week, one of our prep recipes is the chickpea bruschetta, and we're using that in this salad and the French bread pizza. We also have a jackfruit noodle soup, which is our take on the traditional chicken noodle soup. And we also have some tandoori tofu bowls, which are so good. It's a new recipe that we've added to the collection, and it is so delicious. I'm so excited about that recipe. I cannot wait to hear what our members think about it. So I'm just kind of eyeballing a little olive oil there. And I'm going to do a little freshly ground sea salt and pepper, which I love. And then we're going to get to work on the bruschetta. So as I mentioned, the bruschetta is something you would prep on the weekend, and that'll last about 2 to 3 days in the fridge, because you've got some obviously fresh tomatoes in there, and so those will start to break down after about 2 to 3 days. So what I suggest to my members, any members who are watching, is that the same day that you prep your chickpea bruschetta, you either make this salad or you make the French bread pizza then do something else the next day for dinner and use your other recipe that you didn't make with the rest of the chickpea bruschetta. So that way it stays fresh. I will say this chickpea bruschetta, I'm gonna get this in the oven. So again, you're gonna just do this about 25 to 30 minutes. You can give it a little zhuzh in between, about 15 minutes in, just to make sure all of the pieces are getting coated. But again, this chickpea bruschetta is super simple to make, so I'll show you. You could make it while you're toasting your polenta croutons, but again, we like to take the thinking out of what to cook and what to do. So we give you a step-by-step plan and included this in there. So, okay, bruschetta time. It smells so good. I wish you could smell it. So what we've got going on here are some Roma tomatoes, some basil, of course. The recipe calls for capers, but I was out of capers, which is odd because I usually always have capers here. So I added some Kalamata olives, which are just as equally delicious, and a great opportunity for me to tell you about our ingredient substitution guide. When with every plan we publish every week, we have what's called an ingredient substitution guide. And in that guide, we have an alternative for every ingredient in every recipe that we have. So you could look up capers, for example, and see some alternatives, and you would see Kalamata olives on there. So we always try to give you options because we believe cooking should be customizable, and it's not a one-size-fits-all when it comes to feeding your family. We know everybody has different dietary needs, different allergies and preferences, so we always give you options. And our recipes also always include, I'm going to chop up some garlic while I'm talking. We're going to put some garlic in. 4 cloves of garlic. I'm doing 2 because these are super big. Actually, I think it was 2 cloves of garlic, but I'm still doing super big one. What was I going to say? We give you options, and we also give you options for allergies. So if you have a nut, soy, or gluten allergy, we give you options for that as well. But this is a naturally gluten-free recipe for panzanella salad. So if there's any, gluten allergy people out there with celiac, if you love panzanella, this is a great option. If you have a panzanella recipe that you like, just swap out polenta croutons instead of the bread that's traditional in that salad. So, okay, we're just gonna chop this up. Oh, and feel free to drop your questions. Are there any questions? No, okay. Just give me a little wave if any questions come up. And then I'm just mincing this very, very well, because if you've ever had bruschetta, you know that it's kind of like a dip. And so you don't want to bite into a big chunk of garlic, right? At least I don't. I like to bite into garlic, just not a very, very big chunk, at least when it's raw. Okay, so we're going to put this into our bowl. And we're also going to add some lemon zest and some fresh lemon juice. And we're going to add some balsamic vinegar. And what else are we going to add? A little bit of olive oil and some more salt and pepper. And then we'll get to work on our salad, which is some arugula here. I've got red onion, a red bell pepper. I've got an English cucumber. So that's also going to go in our salad as well. So let's go ahead and put our lemon juice in here. We just need about 2, here went a seed. I thought I got them all out. Let me see, make sure. I think I did. Okay. So you just need about 2 tablespoons. Oh, there goes another one. Sneaky little guys, those seeds. All right, so as I mentioned, I like to serve this as a main dinner salad. If you have meat eaters in your house, a little bit about me if you don't know me. I am a plant-based meal planning expert and the mama of 3 kids who are not vegan. My husband's not vegan either. So I am a pro at balancing my vegan lifestyle with a family who does not eat the same way. 11 years vegan this month. And I love to help other families juggling the same daily challenges of getting a home-cooked meal on the table. So that's what I'm all about. I'm here to take the thinking out of dinner and simplify it so that you have a really easy process. So if you'd like to learn more about some of the programs that I offer through Batch Cooking Club, as well as a membership, you can visit batchcookingclub.com. And we also have a great free resource to help you organize your meals and your prep. And that is batchcookingclub.com/planner. And it's my 5-step process that I use every week in my own life. and to organize my meal, not only my meal prep, but also what I'm going to feed my family, so that I'm only making one meal a night. So this salad, if you've got meat eaters and you don't think this is going to be hearty enough for them, like I said, it's got the chickpeas and the polenta, so it really does, you know, have a lot to it. You could definitely shred some chicken and put that on that too. You could make a little, serve with like a cup of soup or something, a little white bean soup or something like that, like Italian soup if you wanted. You could also, since this is an Italian inspired dish, you could top with some meatballs or on the side. So there's a lot of different ways that we give you suggestions. I always give suggestions for how to like non-plant-based it up if you've got, you know, meat eaters that need a little more. So, oh, we need the chickpeas for chickpea bruschetta. And I just love this recipe because I love bruschetta, and so does my family. My kids kind of inspired this recipe because they love bruschetta. And I was like, how can I make this a meal? Because they really could eat this like, you know, it's going out of style. Another great alternative, if you're not a chickpea person, lentils would be delicious in this. You could swap in either a can of rinsed lentils, cooked and rinsed lentils, or you could also do any other kind of bean, like a white bean would work really well too. So this is coming together. We're gonna put a little bit of balsamic vinegar in there, a couple tablespoons. We already have the lemon juice in there, so just a couple of tablespoons. And then we're gonna just do I'm just gonna do a little drizzle of the olive oil. That's optional. You don't, ooh, that was a big one. You don't have to do olive oil if you don't want to. I'm using an oil-free dressing on top of the salad as well today. So again, if you're watching your oil intake, we always give you oil-free options. Okay, so this just gets all stirred. We're gonna do a little salt and pepper, and we're gonna set that aside, and we're gonna chop up our vegetables. Salt, and a little pepper. I love pepper. I've been like obsessed lately, grinding it on everything. My dad's probably smiling because he's always saying to add pepper. He's taken me to the pepper side. I'm a believer in the pepper now. Okay, so you cannot smell this, but this is amazing. It smells delicious. Again, this will last about 2 to 3 days, and then the tomatoes will start to break down. But it just in a in a airtight container in the fridge, this should stay just fine for you for a couple days. All right, let's get to the salad part. Do a little check-in on our croutons. Oop, they're coming along well. You want them to be a little bit golden, and I'm gonna flip them in a little bit. They haven't been in there quite enough. So we've got our arugula. I think arugula is a great choice for this salad. You could use any green that you love. If you like spinach, that would be delicious. You could also do romaine. Kale would even be good as well, but this goes really nicely with it. So we're going to chop up some red bell pepper. And you don't need the whole bell pepper. I'm not gonna use the whole bell pepper right now because I am just doing a little bit for myself right now. Although I know you guys are probably looking at this going, she's not gonna eat all that. I probably will eat a lot of that actually. That will be my lunch today. So I'm gonna start with I don't know if you saw what I just did. I took out the core here, I sliced enough, I take out the seeds there, and then I'm also going to clear out the seeds there. Now, I don't like spicy, that's why I do that. If you like the seeds, go for it. But I like to take out the ribs too, it's just prettier. And we're just going to cut it up into, I call it like a dice almost, but like more of a chopped, little squares. All about the presentation. So I'm gonna do like bigger chunks. I'm not doing a small dice like you might do with, like we were doing with the garlic. So just big chunks here. And there's that rib. It just adds kind of a bitter taste with the rib, I think, so just to get rid of that. And we're gonna stir this into the bruschetta. And this is all part of the base that's going on to our salad. I used an English cucumber. You could use any cucumber you want. This one is really my favorite. I actually love Persian cucumbers too. And I'm just gonna do little half moons. Put that in there. And then we have some red onion. And I'm gonna just do little half moons there too. I like to incorporate the different shapes when I'm cutting these vegetables because the bruschetta, everything's chopped up and so precise. I like the add-ins that we're adding in here to be a little bit more, a little bigger and more diverse, I guess you could say. I'm all about the presentation, and so I think about that when you see how you're chopping these big. If you prefer a chopped salad, by all means, do you. I always say these recipes are a base for you. You should make them your own, and if you want to add different vegetables in here, you should totally go for that too. So, and now I know my husband will definitely not eat this at lunch and take it away from me because he hates red onion raw, so that makes sure my husband won't eat my salad. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, honey, if you're watching. Okay, so this is all done here. Let me move so much in the way here. Okay, let's move this over here. So again, if you had batched the chickpea bruschetta on the weekend, you would just pull out the amount you needed for this recipe and be chopping up these vegetables while your polenta cubes were toasting. And that's really all you would have to do to prep dinner. So easy, right? So that's what we do here. We take the thinking out of what to cook. And if you're ever curious, we always post the weekly plan on Wednesday morning at batchcookingclub.com/this-week. We're actually not I'm gonna add a little bit more cucumber. I can see it needs a little bit more. Not the whole plan, I meant the menu. If you wanted to see the menu, you could do that. So we're just gonna add a little bit more. As you can see, there's a lot of depth to this salad. I know if you're not used to eating salad, if you're like new to plant-based recipes and you're like, all I have to eat is salad. Salads are not boring, ladies and gentlemen. These salads, any salads that we feature in our plans have so much depth to them. We recently did one for a barbecue ranch kale salad. We topped them with some, I think it was black bean and corn patties. So we made black bean and corn burgers, and we topped them on top of this delicious salad. And so that's how we roll over here. We're no like puny little salads. We have big, robust, delicious salads. Do you have any questions? No? Okay, great. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave this here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna top the arugula now with the bruschetta. But first I'm gonna give let me pull out, let me see how the croutons are doing. So what we'll do is we would top this with the bruschetta with the arugula and the vegetables. Then we will top it with our croutons and then drizzle it with our oil-free basil dressing. Now, I wanted to show you, I used up my dressing earlier this week. I always make 2 dressings on the weekend. This is another one of my favorite dressings for Batch Cooking Club. It's just a vinaigrette, another oil-free one. So you could use any dressing on here. I love it with the basil, oil-free basil vinaigrette, because there's basil in the in the bruschetta. Oh, and I should mention, I didn't even mention, the chickpea bruschetta recipe is live on our blog right now. If you go to batchcookingclub.com/blog, that'll be the first recipe you find. We add new recipes there weekly. So you can grab the link to this recipe, use this bruschetta, and I think the vinaigrette, the oil-free basil vinaigrette isn't on the blog. So you could just use whatever vinaigrette you love, whatever dressing, something light, and you drizzle that on top. So again, you do you. So I'm just gonna pull out the croutons so you can see them, and we'll give it a little bit of a zhuzh. So you can kind of see how they're coming together. Let's leave this here. So you can see, it's hard to see, I think, from your view, but I can see that they're getting a little bit crispy there. Can you see? I don't know, I can see that. And that's what you're going for. Actually, they're almost there. I'd say maybe 5 minutes. I'm gonna put them in for a little longer. Actually, just so that I can show you, I'm gonna go for it because they're pretty much there. I'm being like nitpicky here on the crispiness level. But oh, they look so good. Okay, so let's do this. Let's serve it up. So I like to serve it on a big platter like this, even though this is just for me. And then we're gonna top it. So this bruschetta is obviously more than I need for this recipe, so I'm just gonna kind of eyeball. This is also like a great like brunch salad that you could use for entertaining, to share the deliciousness of plant-based food. And I mean, go generous on this, because this is your filling, right? This is your topping for, this is like the meat, if you will, of the salad. So you want everybody to get a really good, oh, that smells so good. Okay, so we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna top it with our croutons, Panzanella croutons. And you can store these croutons separately in a airtight container in the refrigerator, and they'll stay for like a week. You can use them all week long. Just reheat them in the oven if you want, or let them sit to come to room temperature. Oh my gosh, look at how beautiful that is. Is it just me? Drop an emoji if you think this looks beautiful. And then you would drizzle with your dressing. So here we go. I'll hold it up so you can see it. Ooh la la. Dinner is served. So I would probably serve this, honestly, just like this would be enough for me, but you could have like a little cup of soup on the side. If you have meat eaters, add a little sliced chicken or roast chicken on the side. But a big, gigantic bowl of this would be very, very delicious for me and satiate me, and this is what I will be eating for lunch today. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'm gonna just share one last thing. We've got, if you are not following us here on Facebook, make sure you hit that follow button on the top right, I think it is. You can get notifications every time we go live. Go to Instagram at Batch Cooking Club and follow us there, connect with us there. And if you haven't joined our community, definitely go to batchcookingclub.com/planner. Download that free planner. You'll start getting our weekly emails, and you'll get our free recipes every week, free tips and ideas. And then please connect with me as well. I am Veegmama, VEGMANA, over on Facebook as well as Instagram. And I share lots of meal planning tips and strategies as a busy working mom, and give you, I interview experts, I profile different books, and all sorts of things that I'm using in my life to make cooking and dinner easier. So thank you so much for watching. We are here every week on Thursday mornings with a new recipe, and we look forward to seeing you next week.